The Clashing Conferences Podcast. Let's go.
Welcome back, everybody. The Clashing Conferences Sports Fan Network. We're not just a podcast anymore. We're a network. We're growing constantly. We got new people. We got new shows in the studio right now. You can be next. It's so easy. All you have to do is go to theclashingconferences.com, join Patreon. You're part of the network. It's that easy. Start interacting with us. You get into the text group. You get access to the live shows, the audience links. You can come on, be part of the show once you're part of the crew. So follow the instructions. You can be next. Looking back at week 9, quick recap. We had Philadelphia with a nice win, 28-23 over Jacksonville. We had Washington beating the Giants, 27-22 in a little interdivision matchup. And we had Dallas going down to the Falcons, 21-27. In our internal competition, our 3 categories were most points scored. That went to Greg and Philly with 28 points. We had very controversial QBR is back again. Washington takes that at 96. I have a feeling we're going to be hearing a lot about QBR in this show. And then we had accumulation of field goals going to Dallas and Randy with 91 total yards for the week, for the year now. Well, I guess for the week, that gives a point to everybody except for Topher and the Giants. For the
Kind of
year,
fitting.
we have Greg leading at a little bit fitting. We have Greg leading for the year at 11 points. We have Paul P. Diddy Douglas at 10 points. Randy's at 7. And Chris is at 6. So that's where we are with the internal competition. Let me see. I think why don't we lead off with Paul this week?
No, I can't imagine.
He didn't really get
I can't
much
imagine
to
why
say
that
last
is either.
week.
But first, let me get prepared.
Oh boy.
So everybody can hear me. Just want to make sure
We can see you too, Kirk Cousins.
There it is. So yeah, I got a couple of things to talk about. One, we'll start off with the game that we played against the Cowboys down there. They obviously never had a chance. They took 3 or 4, possibly 5 L's all in the same game. So literally, you lost the game. You looked terrible. You lost CD. You lost Dak for a while. You didn't get Micah back.
That might be an improvement losing Dak.
I'm not saying it wasn't, but that's it's technically an L.
Sorry.
Jerry's out there talking again. And then you made a rash move. You literally had the worst trade, the trade deadline day of all time. Jonathan Mingo is slated to be, listen, if there was a wet fart that was turned into a human, it would be you, all right? So just listen for a second.
At least we didn't give away a 3rd or 4th round pick for Lattimore.
Are you kidding me? That was the best trade of the entire day.
We traded a 5th round pick and got a 7th for a top 10 wide receiver to draft this year, top 8 maybe.
What? What are you talking about?
Just watch.
He's not worth any of it.
See it.
You drafted
Kirk
him.
Cousins this time. Let him.
Yeah, seriously. The Cowboys drafted Jonathan Mingo to be a number 2. He's like a number 3 on the freaking Panthers. That's unbelievable. He was behind Deontay Johnson, Xavier Leggett, and he was actually behind somebody else. I couldn't even remember who it was. I think it was Andy Dalton when they threw him out there.
No, Thielen.
So he's 5th. He was literally the 5th wide receiver. Okay. So now you got to steal.
He's up and coming.
No, he's not. He's not coming at all. He's not coming anywhere. He's not at all. No,
all year long, we didn't get it. We didn't do anything in the thing, and we finally do something, and I think you're just jealous.
Well, I'm actually not jealous
on your roster.
Not jealous whatsoever. From
100%.
Adam Schefter says that the Commanders had the best day today of all the teams.
Well, Adam Scheffler illegally streams all his football, so
Scheffler.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know where you're getting that. Is that like Scotty Scheffler's brother? Because we're talking about Adam Schefter.
I know.
Just wondering.
I don't know if you saw, but he posted a clip in a Buffalo game, and it was
Need
from
some
like
popcorn.
Meth Labs, which is like an illegal streaming service. Last week.
So here's the thing. I don't know what you're talking about, but anyways,
Again,
no one
just
does.
like your text messages.
Seriously. But here's the thing. I'm not worried about the giving up a draft pick. We have 9 draft picks in this draft coming up.
You're down to 7, by the way.
That's fine. We have a third from Jahan Dotson, which now, to be honest, is not looking like that bad of a trade. I couldn't figure it out before, but with Noah Brown blowing up now, we'll take Christian McCaffrey's half brother or whatever he is. He's definitely got about a third of the athletic ability, but I love the wide receiver alert that we can call on those third down plays across the middle. So I'm all hype about that. But if it's going to shut you up, I'll stop talking about the frickin' the Cowboys. Half of that we can
promising that.
We can shut up. We can pivot a little bit.
You shut up.
Oh, but I will say, you did have 4 turnovers on downs in that game. Nobody has done that in 20 years. I just want you to know that. So I feel like I had my intimidation from the sideline had a little bit of something to do with that. But let me get to the rest of for the digs here. So I think we're probably going to have to go a little bit more to the Giants, which obviously they, if anybody's following their records, I know at one point, sometime in the last whenever, who cares, that they won a playoff game with Daniel Jones. But the fact remains that they started the season 2-7, 6 out of the last 8 seasons.
They have
true stat.
That's not too freaking good. So one of the things
Kurt,
I did want to.
He also shares kind of another stat with you. Everybody talked crap on you for years and said you sucked because you couldn't win in prime time. And I mean, Daniel Jones just needs a new environment. I think.
That's why Kirk Cousins is wearing the RG3 jersey. I was drafted in the same draft.
Were you at one point? I think at one point he was pretty bad. But the whole thing about Daniel Jones has been the whole thing I said all along. He's not an elite quarterback. He needs his team. He's not going to pull you. He's not going to push you. He's not. But Hurts is the same way. Dak's the same way.
All along that Daniel Jones wasn't an elite quarterback. We were hearing MVP talk
top three, bro.
Yeah,
same thing.
That's not elite.
Same thing. Dak Prescott was last year, and this year he's not. All these quarterbacks are the same. It's the same argument I had the whole time. Even Bobby.
I don't know. I don't think.
They're not going to push your team, but they need a supporting cast, dude.
I don't think Dak's playing half as bad as DJ this year.
He played fine Sunday against a really good football team.
Cast.
How many touchdown passes did DJ have?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. They're all like that, except for like 3 or 4. I've been saying it for years.
They're not all like that.
No. What Mike just asked me. There's like 3 or 4 elite who will, like Pat Mahomes, like he'll carry you. Josh Allen will carry you. You guys never talk bad about Cincy. You won't. They could be 1-6, but you'll be like, they got a chance because they got Joe Burrow. You got these.
Sure.
He's had 5 touchdowns twice this year. You have 5 touchdowns all year. I don't understand.
He has more than that. Daniel Jones has more.
Joe Burrow's done it twice.
I'm just saying he's not, and he's not an elite. Daniel Jones is not Eli. It's one that needs the good offense.
Because he's not cross-eyed. That's not a stat. That's not a good stat.
And I wasn't joking. And I wasn't joking, Randy. I think Dak is overrated. And I think if DJ ended up on your team next year, you'd probably be better. I think you'd be a better football player.
I have a very impressive stat for Daniel
I still
Jones.
believe
this is actually impressive. So in the game against the Redskins, which you lost, just want to remind you, at halftime, Daniel Jones had a touchdown, a passing touchdown.
And zero
passing yards. 0 passing yards. That's like vintage, like Jerome Bettis with 3 touchdowns and 4 yards, or
at one point
2 yards, or something like.
At one point, he was 4 for 4 for -8 yards. Like every third throw was like in the flat or underneath. Like it's ridiculous. But look in the second half. Why don't they play like that the whole game, every game? Why don't they do that every game, every week? Why don't they let him roll out?
Because he's not a competent quarterback. They can't trust him.
Dude, he's already done it.
He's
already done it. Pat Sherman didn't have no problem doing it in his rookie year.
You have to understand too, Chris. Like
he had 3 or 4 games. He had 3 or 4 games his rookie year where he had over 330 yards and 4 touchdowns.
You're talking 7 years ago, Chris. 7.
He's
7 years ago.
He's capable. He looked good last week in the second half. His second half last week was enough for a full game.
Listen.
He looked fine. 14 for 20 with 3 drops. He had a good game.
Greg brought
ran some people over too. That was my highlight of the day.
Greg brought up some really good points to me a couple weeks ago, and that is when you're down by 20 or 30 in the second half, The
We weren't
defense
down
by 20 by
to
30.
prevent
We weren't.
the defense when you're down big.
They
the
didn't.
Defense, the
We
defense
were in that
changes
game, and all we had to
to
do was
prevent.
score. And that brings
So,
me, when it's my
when
turn, I'm
you're
going
in
to
the
talk about the
fourth
stupid
quarter,
play
when
call.
you're in the
Two-point
fourth
conversions.
quarter, and your quarterback puts up 100 yards, it's
He didn't
not
do
the
that.
same as the first quarter.
His whole set.
Chris, he had 0 passing yards at halftime. Zero.
He was 4 for 6. And they were only down.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they didn't throw the ball.
There's no positive. There's no positive.
They didn't throw the ball. And I told you what they did.
Chris,
it's just the stupid digging and dunking.
Someday you're going to turn on that poor man, and
I'm never going to turn on him.
You're going to say
he's not going to be.
Never thought he was good. You never thought he was.
He is good.
Just
I think
like
he's a good quarterback.
And then he's going to get traded to the freaking.
Now he's a good quarterback
knows?
again.
He is a good quarterback.
Everything that comes out of your mouth, you are his voodoo doll.
And
every time you start spewing this garbage, he just gets worse.
I'm going to back myself. Even last week, I said he could possibly go on and have a good career somewhere else. And Greg was like, I agree. Good. He's not a bad quarterback.
He could be a great high school football coach.
He's not a bad quarterback. I still think.
But here's the thing.
And like Sam Darnold and stuff, I think he needs the right situation. That's all he needs.
Okay, well let me give you this one stat, which I think is one of the most impressive things I've ever seen.
I know what you're going to say.
I
already know. Probably the Super Bowls between touchdowns one, right? Is that the one it is?
The Chiefs have won 2 Super Bowls.
I knew it was coming.
In between your most recent 2 passing touchdowns.
And it was like 7 games.
At MetLife.
It was like 7 games. It's still not good, like Greg said 2 weeks ago. But it ain't
unreal.
When you say it, it's
Super Bowls
elevated stat
since he's thrown
years.
A touchdown in consecutive games.
I like the Notre Dame quarterback stat. The Notre Dame quarterback has thrown for more touchdowns in MetLife Stadium than Daniel Jones this year.
I think he called that week on the Diddy.
No, I like the NHL one. In an open air football stadium, 16 NHL players.
That's the one I didn't know about.
Before Daniel Jones.
I don't know hockey. But yes or no? Did he not play bad? Did he play bad in the second half last week? He was 14 for 20 with 3 drops, a couple touchdowns. Mike, it's funny. You said 4 touchdowns. He should have had 4 touchdowns. Bad call.
I think we were playing with 9 people on defense, essentially. So whatever's going to help you get that participation trophy.
The Theo Johnson touchdown, you were not trying to play prevent. You didn't want them to score. There was plenty of time in the game. And then they go for 2. I'm so tired.
Can I ask a real question here?
So tired.
The Giants are 2-7. The Giants are 2-7, and Daniel Jones sucks. Why are we talking about this?
Because I'm on this podcast. And don't act like you're good, because once again, you almost choked and blew a lead to a shitty football team. It's the truth. Okay. It's the truth. With all that talent that you supposedly have.
Greg, I think you can absolutely take over. And
once again, I'll get it.
You almost choked it away. You
almost choked it away. See, again, you're watching. You're
Randy,
watching.
How many wins would they have if they didn't have Saquon this year? They probably only have.
It doesn't matter. He's on our team. That's like saying how many wins would you have if you had Patrick Mahomes?
He is the team. Daniel Jones is actually having just as good of a year as Pat Mahomes. Look,
how many wins would the Giants have if anybody else was their quarterback?
I don't know.
That's kind of my point.
I don't really know.
Taylor would have had at least 3 wins by now.
I feel like they need to let him play because when they let him throw the ball in the second half, he played fine. He was almost, like I said, he was 14 for 20 with 3 drops.
We were resting our players.
No, you weren't, dude. You're an idiot. Because you weren't. They were still in the game.
Chris, the problem is that you keep coming on and saying Daniel Jones
I'm not even trying to stick up with him. I'm just, that's not even my take on the Giants. My whole
you said he's a good player. He's not a good player.
How many games in a row do you have to watch before he's not getting it done?
The whole season.
Like how many years? How many years of bad
I'm not even saying it matters.
before
I'm just
that
saying
first year doesn't matter anymore?
He looked capable last week when they called better plays.
Okay,
they run.
Let me give you a different example.
Go for it.
Player A, his rookie season had a great year, but 20 years later, he's 40 years old. Is he still capable because he had one good year when he was 20?
Daniel Jones ain't broke. He's still playing.
Like at what point
he's not 40 years old. He's
longer
27.
capable?
Mike's
just
because
asking somebody did it once. It could have been luck. It could have been a lot of other factors. Then he's capable. He's proving for 6 years now that he is not capable.
It's a
You're
product
not winning
of the
games.
It's a product of the organization, though. It's
my
not just
team.
The whole
matters
team is
more
bad.
than my quarterback.
The team does matter more than the quarterback, and that's not what I'm saying. His play is a product of the mess that the Giants are in for some reason. They're like, the whole organization is bad right now. Like, I don't know what, it's terrible. Like, I like Brian Dable. Greg was arguing me about that. I do like Brian Dable, but they just can't ever
But you've
put it
been putting
together.
the blame on him every day for a while now.
They can't put it together. Like, games we should be running the ball, they're throwing the ball. Like.
But that's what we're all saying. Like, you can't keep liking these guys if you're like, Daboll, every day you're telling us how much Daboll
as a
sucks
Giants fan,
and how he can't call plays and he's not doing a great job. And
I
then
do
you
like
come on the
Dable.
podcast
Like,
and you're
I see
like,
good
I
and bad
this
in
guy.
Dable, but
like,
and my problem is you can't keep starting over. Like, you can't keep starting over. So it is time to move on from DJ, and you got to let him get a guy he likes. But that's another problem because even though we're 2-7,
I hope you keep Daboll and let him get whoever he likes. I'm begging you. Begging you.
Yeah, even if we're 2-7, we're still like the 6th and 7th pick right now.
Well, the odds are that you'll be 2-7 again next year. Just letting you know.
All right, so listen.
I don't even know what we're going to do.
Firestorm. We're already more than halfway through our first half, and we got 3 guys to go. So let's jump back. Let's jump off the DJ for a minute. Let's try to jump into Eagles. Let's go to Greg.
I'll be quick. Listen,
you don't need to be quick. Just we need to get off DJ for a 30-minute segment.
I don't even want to be on
quick. I'll talk about it.
But I'm going to support.
Quick.
I'm going to support him.
I got you. I got you.
He didn't play bad. We didn't play bad.
Shut up.
All right, here we go. Like, it's like that. It's like the thing that just keeps going around and around. We could talk about this. We have, unfortunately, talked about this for hours ad nauseum.
Just talk about the Eagles. Go for it. But he didn't play bad.
But I can't because you're still talking about DJ. He's good. He had a good second half. He just said it, Chris.
He told you to start talking to Eagles, and you
and I did, and you were like, "But he had a good fucking half." It's just like it's just puking.
Just move on.
So
if you bring him up, I'm going to support him.
Okay, thank you, buddy. I appreciate you.
I love an ornery host. I love an ornery host. So I appreciate another one in our corner.
Oh, it's great. So anyway, on to the game. Listen, I thought we played well. I thought we played okay. I thought that there were some mistakes made. I think, we were up 22-0, and then the call happened. And what I mean by the call is the Saquon gets tackled and the ball comes out. And I'm like, oh shoot, we're gonna get this overturned. And the call stands. And I'm like, how does the call stand? Like, he got tripped by an opposing player. He bumped into his player and falls to the ground, scoop and score. So I think that if that doesn't happen and the right call is made, we're not even having this conversation. We win by 30-some points.
Because that's up to 27 or 28 to nothing at that point. 29-0,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. It's 22-0 at that point, and then that happens. They get 8 because they get the 2-point conversion. And then,
so there are teams out there that can actually complete a 2-point conversion.
Listen, I'm going to talk about that. Like I said, there were some calls that I'm not happy with. I think that we make some random bonehead mistakes still. I think Nick gets inside of himself and he wants to be the smarter person, or tries to be the smarter person. And
that's more like it.
In any football game, to me, you got to take the points when the points are given to you. There are certain times where, in my opinion, you go for 2. But in most cases, if there's no need to, at that point, we're up 16-0. Kick the extra point, go up 17-0. What's 18-0 versus 17-0? Make sure that it's a 3-possession game.
I think you gave up 7, 8, 9 points.
We gave up 9 points
that from kicking.
Yeah,
that I think that you should have had, and then chose to kick one. Then chose to kick one for like
53 yards,
50 something. Yeah, 30.
What happens is you mess up, and then you try to get it back.
And we hit the upright.
Yep, and then you miss it again. That's what they keep doing. Then that's where they just kick the extra point.
But I'll say that Jalen Hurts played really well. I mean, his stats are really well. Obviously, QBR sucks. I mean, he's a bum, obviously, because it's QBR. But otherwise, overall,
he played good. The throw to City was awesome.
Good.
That's one of the things that I want to.
It cost me some money because he was so good.
And I'll never understand the QBR thing that we're getting at. And I'm going to talk about it quickly. But to me, anybody who throws the ball that has a completion percentage of 50% and throws the ball for 150 yards and then runs the ball for I think Drake May ran the ball for 90 something. He was like twice the QBR of Jalen Hurts, who,
it's
by the
weird.
way, was 70%, had 57 yards rushing, and had a touchdown, and then had threw 2 touchdowns.
And no
So
turnovers. He
I
had a
was
great
baffled by that. And no turnovers, where Drake May had 2 turnovers. So it is what it is. I was just busting balls. And,
You were
Daniels
mad.
had a heck of a game. I was at
Of
first
course.
because I thought I won it. And then it was like, wait a minute. This
You weren't
happened
even
last
close.
year.
I thought I won it last year with Todd Rod Taylor, and then I did end up
Exactly.
getting the point. But
So, that's right. That's how you beat me. And I ended up losing last year because of that.
it was the right call.
It's funny how it
Mike.
comes back and bites you at the end.
Good job, Mike.
Yeah, but I thought overall the Eagles played well. I thought Hurts had a really good game. I thought
He
Smitty
did.
had one of the best catches I've ever seen in my life. It was amazing. I thought,
You
Barkley,
do know it wasn't even the best catch
Highlight of
of
the
somebody
game.
wearing green this week, right?
I
Right.
know N'Kobe Dean had a good catch. There was a lot of good catches in the league this week.
I meant Garrett Wilson had the catch.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
That
But
was unreal.
I think that what it comes down to is they're starting to hit their stride. We're going into Dallas this week. This is Dallas
And
week.
you're in
I love
trouble
this
because they
week.
got Cooper Rush. You are in trouble.
Cooper-
And Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah, I was
going
going
to
to say, we don't have CD Lamb. We don't have
NFLshop.com their site is about to get broken with all the Jonathan Mingo sales that are coming.
We don't have CD Lamb, but we got Jonathan Mingo.
You guys laughed, but Cooper Rush played us well last year.
Absolutely.
We have not been able to go down in Dallas and beat
Skip
Dallas.
said they're a better team
quite
with
some
Cooper.
while. I don't know if CD Lamb's going to play. I don't know.
He's not. Everything I'm reading, he's out.
He's out. AJ's banged up. Again, looks like a knee, but he looked fine. I think it was one of those games where we're up 22-0. You got injured. We're going to pull you. And then
you weren't up that much
man.
when he went out, though. It was actually starting to turn when
it was first half. First half is when he went out.
I thought it was close. I mean, I'm driving home at that point, but
he ended up having a decent game. I mean, I think he ended up having 3 catches.
Aren't you concerned at all about? Aren't you concerned at all about how you let him almost come back and just? I mean, it was a hell of an interception to win the game. But damn,
I'm not concerned, and I'll tell you why I'm not concerned.
I'm not being a smart ass. I'm just asking.
It swayed that way because of the call.
Minus
and
1 point.
I think
the whole
that
game, one
call doesn't happen. Yeah, that's when the refs.
I could have said that last week. I could have said that last week when Pittsburgh got their punt return. They roughed the kicker and they didn't even call it. It should have been our ball.
I wish you had said that. It said that and just stopped. We would have been like, "You're right. There was a turning point right there. That was a difference maker." And we're on next. So that would have been great.
Even with all of that, our defense
man.
We gave up 36 yards in the first half. Our defense is playing good right now. Yes, it's Jacksonville. I get it. They're down their 2 best receivers, and ETN is not the greatest back, and Trevor Lawrence isn't playing well this year. But, we're holding teams now. They played well against Cincinnati, and
second half Cincinnati was really good
offense. So I'm excited to see what we can do down in Dallas. I'm really excited about it, and we'll kind of go from there. I don't know how much Randy wants to brag or talk about what he saw Sunday with those Cowgirls down there in Atlanta.
You say brag?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what he's
going to
say.
come up with some stat or some stupid story about something that no one cares about.
I got some stats.
Give it to us, Randy.
So there was a lot of takeaways that were really good. You know that the Cowboys won the coin toss? That's a big one. Second one is we had 137 yards rushing this year. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but that was our league high. We were doing
And who
numbers.
are you missing? And who are you missing?
Ezekiel Elliott for good reason.
Right.
I'm ready to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Listen,
missed team meetings.
We averaged 6.5 yards a carry. That is Singletary numbers right there. That is unreal how much they averaged on those carries. I was very impressed with that.
Tracy's our.
But all
our
that
starter.
being said, I know, but you were saying Singletary yards per carry. He was getting 2.5, and how great it was.
I didn't say it was great.
That was weeks ago, Chris.
But again, there's not a whole
it was
lot
3.9
of
at that
things
point,
to sing about. There's not a whole lot of things to be bright and sunny around. I mean, Parsons looks like he's coming back this week. Deron Bland looks like he's coming back. We got Mingo. He's a stallion. There is things to be positive about. Not a lot. I mean, In the end, I do have to say they played a pretty good game. Cooper Rush, he looked decent. Like I don't. Dak actually had really good stats for the game too, for when he was in. Like it wasn't a horribly played game. I mean,
yell at him, guys. You always yell at me. I said DJ had a good second half. Dak sucks, dude. He said it himself.
I think he was 18 for 22 or something like that, or 18 for 24 for like 150. I mean, he had a decent game, but not.
Don't sell him short. He was 19 of 24, sir.
Okay,
there you go.
All I'm saying, he actually had a pretty decent game. It's losing, not having four turnovers.
Kidding. Kirk Cousins was 19 of 24 with 3 touchdowns. Mike, you were 18 of 24.
Having 4 turnovers on downs definitely kills you. And then on top of that, your defense can't stop anything, it seems like. Parsons and Bland coming back is going to help. I am excited about Mingo. I know you guys make fun of him, but I just want to jump back on one thing. That's you guys talking about how we didn't do anything during the trade deadline.
I would love to see you jump.
Let me ask you guys something. What is your least favorite baseball team out there?
Daniel Jones.
Baseball team.
Oh.
Daniel
the Phillies.
Jones.
Yankees.
The Mets, of course.
Yeah,
Yankees,
something up north.
Let me ask you, like, I just always hear everybody ripping on the Yankees. And why do you hate the Yankees? What is the number one complaint?
Because they're good.
No. That's not what everybody always says. What do? They buy the team, right?
Oh.
So at least give the Cowboys a little respect for not trying to buy their team from other teams.
They don't have any money to spend.
I'm just saying.
They gave it all to
You're overrated.
According to the number one thing that the peoples hate the Yankees for, you guys should love the Cowboys for it. The fact that we want to grow our own talent and do our own thing.
You don't have a choice because you backed yourself in our corner.
That changed. We just got Jonathan Mingo. It's all over now.
Yeah, you did buy the team. You just made the wrong purchases.
You're right. You're
terrible.
We didn't buy. I don't know.
Then how don't you have any money?
I am.
All right, are you done? Can I just run down?
If you didn't buy the team, you'd have Derrick Henry right now and possibly be relevant.
I would agree. Anyway, go ahead, Chris.
You should have Derrick Henry. We should have Derrick Henry, maybe.
Anyway, we should have Saquon.
No, we shouldn't. We offered him 3 years, $42 million, 2 years.
All right, we've heard this like 4 times.
You should have offered him $100 million. He's the only thing that would keep you relevant.
That's not true because he was on our team for years and we didn't win nothing. He was much a part.
He's thanking God right now that he has an offensive line, can average 6 yards a carry.
Hey, it's my time,
and
buddy.
gets
my time,
good
buddy.
utilization.
Those are Singletary numbers, Greg.
Mike, it's my turn, Mike.
It is your turn, but let me answer
a big
one
part.
of your questions.
He was a big part of that 2-6 start every year.
You want to know why we don't give Randy crap about Dak Prescott?
I know why we don't.
Because Dak Prescott has won a lot of games the past 5 or 7 years or whatever it is.
He's always had a better team around him.
Doesn't.
Yep. But he always falls, and he always falls up short.
Who besides
Dallas always every year?
CeeDee Lamb, who has Dallas had for
every
him to
single
throw to?
year? Everybody's talking about Dallas.
You guys had arguably
when they're
the
out in
best
California
tight
in their
end.
training camp. They're always talking about how they're a contender.
The best tight end
and they got all this
who
talent.
Quit on you,
and they always suck. Who?
But also, I don't defend Dak the way you defend DJ. Like
I like DJ. I think he's always had a. Can I talk about what happened in the game?
He's a good player.
You guys bring this shit up every week, and then you turn on me. I'm not taking it anymore. Shut up, all of you.
You're gonna, Chris. I hate to say it, but you're gonna take it until either DJ starts to win a game or throw a touchdown.
Or you stop telling us
it's a
good.
team.
He gets cut.
He's a good quarterback, dude. It's a team game, and it's the
right.
whole 2-6 and the 2-7.
He's a great quarterback. What else you got for us?
He's a solid quarterback.
He's a top 3 quarterback. What else you got for us?
Almost caught him.
I'm gonna get off the DJ thing, but I thought he had a good second half. I thought he played well. I liked a couple of his runs.
And none of it meant anything.
Not only the touchdown when he scored and he stiff armed 2 of your players, he did it earlier too. So let him throw the ball. What you did in the second half, you should be doing every quarter. You're 2-7. If he sucks,
that was all make a wish. Did you not see the signs go up?
But every week, what do they say? Oh, he's playing next week. He's playing next week. But anyway, Giants, man, it's like they shoot themselves in the foot every time, every week, man. Like, what was been the best component on our team all year? Our defense. Last time we played Washington, they had 5 sacks. Like, defense didn't show up. And then you were like, oh, Daniels is eating you alive. He really didn't. It was just very... Like, they didn't even run the ball as well as they did the first time they played us. But what he did do, like good quarterbacks do, great quarterbacks do, 3rd and long, made a big play. Every time they needed a big first down. It's the timing and it's the explosive plays. It's the things that Dable does not do. And
he also didn't turn the ball over.
Yeah, 4 for 6. That turnover. I mean, he did. He got rocked. I think he should have did the same. He probably should have just took the sack and we probably would have got a field goal. He was trying to dump it off, do a screen pass. He got hit. Same thing when J.J. Watt hit him, dude. It's like
Can I give you
Watt
one more stat, and it's not about the Giants? One more stat.
Buddy? Yep, go for it.
The Commanders only have 3 freaking turnovers the entire year.
They're playing. They're very efficient. Wins. And that's the problem.
It's been 100 years. I don't even think football was that old, to be honest. In 1933, no one's had that few turnovers through 9 games.
So I got one stat that's pretty.
Can I finish my segment? You guys always talk shit, but it's always you guys firing.
Well, there's that dumb shit. I guess we'll go to the second half.
Keep going.
That's what the Giants do, man. Like the offense hasn't been relevant at all in the last 3 or 4 weeks. The defense plays well. They lose because the offense showed up in the second half. They played fine. They scored enough points to win. Defense just couldn't get off the field. They couldn't get a sack. They couldn't get a stop when it mattered. So I don't even know what I'm going to say now because you keep talking over me. I was going somewhere with all this. I don't know what they're going to do.
Now you know what it feels like. Now you know what it feels like.
But I don't know what
these
they're going to do.
These guys can't mention the Giants or Daniel Jones without you talking against them for 3 minutes every time they say Giants or Daniel Jones. So now you know what it feels like for them to come back at you and be like, you can't finish a segment.
I do think it's good to go back and forth, though. I'd rather argue than just talk for 4 straight minutes. But yeah, go ahead. It doesn't matter. We're not relevant.
I have an interesting little stat, and that is that in all 3 of our games last week, we were very close to the spread. I thought that was really interesting. The Eagles covered by like a point or something. No,
they were missed it by 2.5.
They missed it by 2.5. The Commanders, you beat by, you were 4. I think you beat by 5, right? And the Cowboys lost by. They didn't cover by 2 points or 2.5. Anyway, it was just really interesting. All of our spreads, I was thinking about it, were really, really close to hitting last week. I don't know. I thought
because the NFL is rigged. I mean, all right, 2020 stats. 2020. Chiefs beat the Niners in the Super Bowl. Dodgers won the World Series. Cowboys are trash. Dak gets hurt, and it was an election year. This year, we've got an election year. Dak is hurt. Cowboys are trash. Dodgers won the World Series. Right now, Chiefs look like they're going to the Super Bowl. NFL's rigged.
Keep getting stronger.
That's a good diddy dig.
That is definitely, maybe a diddy dig, but definitely dumb shit. We're going to halftime. We'll be back soon.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening. Just a few quick reminders for everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Michael Jordan is the GOAT. And check out our fellow podcaster, Jim Montgomery, with This Day in Philly Sports History. Thank you.
We are back with the second half. Looking forward to week 10. We got 3 big matchups this week. Let's go through them and look at the spreads before we spin that wheel for week 10. We got the Giants going against the Carolina Panthers in London. The Sunday morning game. I love the Sunday morning games. I used to hate them, but God, it's fun to wake up to football.
Yeah, that is
our first. Go ahead, Randy.
That's a payback for the Holocaust, I believe. This game.
Yeah, it's a pretty horrible game to send to London. I agree. But it's still fun to have football at 9:30 on Sunday morning.
We're undefeated over there, so we're 3-0. So maybe we'll get a win.
Maybe you should stay over there. Maybe that's where he's going to be good.
You're on the EuroLeague.
The Burley Giants or what?
EuroLeague
tell me
MVP.
Real quick, how many touchdowns has Daniel Jones thrown in London?
None yet.
Do we know? Is it more than MetLife?
No,
you said they're
Eli won Eli scored the first ever touchdown over there against Miami. We won that game.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. You're going back Jones, all the way to that. All right.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've been there. I don't think Daniel Jones played there yet.
Our second matchup this week is Washington hosting Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh is +3 in that game. I don't think I gave the spread in that first one.
No, I was getting ready to say that. Yeah, you didn't.
Carolina is plus 5.5. You guys believe that? I know Carolina's that bad, but I can't believe Giants are favored by 5.5
That's-
against
Dude,
anybody.
they just
to be
lost
honest with you.
Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah.
That was probably a pick 'em before Jonathan Mingo got traded.
I would agree. I would agree. Top 5
All
receiver in the
right,
NFL this year.
That's really
right, what-
good.
What's the Washington and Pittsburgh spread, Mike? I'm sorry. That was good, Paul.
5.5.
Pittsburgh's
3.5.
plus 3. 3. You guys are probably looking at ESPN again. Philadelphia, our last matchup of the week, is a really good interdivision matchup. We got Philly going down to Dallas. Always a good game. Dallas is plus 7 in that one. So
Oh.
kind of surprised me. I thought it was going to be a little higher than that with most of their best players
Yeah.
out. So
Tough.
it be
Yeah.
that bad of a
Yep.
beatdown.
keeps popping up, man.
Parsons is back. DeRon Bland might be back. There are reasons.
I think Jonathan Mingo might be the new joke of the podcast going forward.
Yeah.
But to see what happens.
That's Stallion. All right, spin that
All right,
wheel.
let's spin that wheels. Let's get 3 categories.
He
for
has a
week
great
10.
week. We're never going to hear the end of it.
Well, who does,
Don't
that,
forget
who does that sound like?
Chris, he
Yeah.
hasn't done anything all year, and he just got the playbook. I don't think you'll barely see him on the field, but we'll see.
100%.
Plus or minus turnovers, any
Ooh.
single player. So
Any player.
Somebody want to explain that one to me?
We have had that
Please.
once before. We are not going to do that. We've
Let's
had
do
this
team
come up
total.
before. It's going to be team total. There's no such
There we
thing as
go.
plus or minus
All
for
right,
a
I'll take
single
that point.
player. So team
No, you
total,
won't.
first point.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
All right, I'll take 2 points then.
Let's
Well,
try
while we're
that again.
spinning, don't forget to like us and follow on whatever you're watching, guys. Participate.
And that doesn't mean you have to like what Chris says, just like the pod in general.
Mhm.
Rush
No,
yard,
that's
single player.
Dowdle.
Feeling
No way,
Jonathan
dude. You know
Mingo.
how, like,
I don't know.
fungible
Jonathan
he
Mingo
is?
can do it all.
He's the next Debo Samuel.
Touchdowns.
I like
Dude,
this one. If we
3
had
for
this one
Jonathan
this year,
Mingo like that?
touchdowns,
It's
team
team
total. I know
totals.
we had single player
It would definitely
touchdowns
go
at
to
least
Mingo.
once. I'm not sure if we've had team total yet.
The
So
Mingo Cowboys.
Mingo's
Mhm.
going to sweep. I think Mingo is going to get the
Yeah.
plus or minus turnovers, the
week.
rush yards, and the touchdowns. Let's go.
So,
Randy, why don't
the
you tell us
picks.
about
We'll
Mingo
go with
for week
the,
10?
I do think the Cowboys with Hurts playing has a chance to win the plus or minus turnover, especially with Parsons back, DeRon Bland possibly being back, and the pick machine throwing in green. I think there's a good chance that we're actually going to win that one.
He hasn't
By the
really
way, he
returned
has
the ball
not
the
had a
last couple
turnover
weeks.
in 4
I
weeks.
know that's going to change. However, I still think we lose. I Dak gone, CD gone. Cooper's playing good, but we're not playing good enough. And then to miss those
He didn't
big
play yet this
pieces. Who?
Ron
Cooper.
Bland.
No, Cooper
Or
played
Bland.
last week. Cooper
He went-
Rush.
All right.
13 for 25, Chris,
Yeah,
and a touchdown.
He's definitely playing. Right now, I just saw Dak's probably going on IR, which means he's going to miss
4 weeks.
at least 4
At
weeks.
least.
So again, I think that's kind of
At
a
least.
picture of how this season is. So our first 60 million was spent pretty much for nothing this year. I'm counting down. We got 3 more years of giving Dak Prescott 60
In
million.
proportion, it's the exact same contract as Daniel Jones. In proportion, it's the
Yeah,
exact same.
you're right. You're right. You're right. So I guess it's not that bad. According to Chris, I'm actually doing pretty good. But then we're going
I'm
to
not even
talk
going to
about
rebuttal because it's dumb shit.
talk about Washington Pittsburgh. That could be a really interesting game. I think that Pittsburgh is.
Where's that
playing-
game at again?
That's in Washington.
Washington.
I think Pittsburgh's. I've hated them forever. I think Pittsburgh is so overrated, but they are playing good defense and good football. I actually think this is the better defense that Washington's ever seen. I don't know if Pittsburgh's got enough offense to keep up with Washington, but it could be a pretty interesting game for that offensive line to keep Daniels protected throughout that game.
Well, the Steelers did make 2 decent pickups today. I mean, nothing Jonathan Mingo-ish, but
no,
you got
no. You can't
Zadarius,
beat that.
Zadarius, or is it Preston Smith they got? Is it Preston Smith and Mike Williams? I mean,
Mike
yes.
Williams right now today is better than
Jets.
Jonathan Mingo.
I don't know about that. Anyway, I don't know. I would say that one's kind of a toss up. If in a pinch, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm gonna leave that one go. You're giant. I do think Carolina's going to give you a run for your money in Germany. I think that you will 9 get the win, and I think that is
I
I
can't
don't
believe you
speak
just. I
German.
can't believe you just
What
did
does that mean?
you will not.
You were-
9.
You are absolutely a descendant
Wallenstein.
of the Third Reich. I am.
I
Yes.
feel like this is a Paul type
So,
of thing.
anyway,
They're the same person.
This is going to end up getting edited, but that's okay.
The team totals touchdown. I don't think the Cowboys get it. Washington's. I think that the Eagles probably have the best chance of it. What was the other one? There was the
It
turnovers.
was turnovers plus or minus.
Yep.
Rushing.
Cowboys.
Ran rush yards, single player.
Rushing Saquon Barkley.
Mingo.
Especially against the Cowboys. How in the world? Yeah, sure. We'll throw Jonathan Mingo, but no, it's probably going to be Saquon. Cowboys
Greg,
rushing defense is horrible.
Greg, I got to follow up real quick. You still got those Cooper Rush stats up?
I do.
I was wondering if his QBR was better than Hurts.
Was better than Hurts. However, his rating was not.
Yeah.
So when
Because
us
rating
logical
isn't
people,
We're not
rating
talking
isn't
about
logical
logical
people.
people.
The question.
when we look at things logically, we use the rating. When we use it, metrics and the new way of baseball and how they looked at the game last night because it's wet and it was 43% says you kick the field goal and go over to overtime. No, don't be dumb. You're going against Patrick Mahomes. You go for 2 and you try to win the game. Like, what are these people doing with this metrics? Stupid analytical stuff.
Told you,
And
we're
I'm a
getting old,
numbers
guys.
guy. I love it.
you were an Arrowhead too. You have to go for 2.
You have to.
You want to get your team out of there as quick as possible. You do not. The more you're on the field, the less chance you have.
And that's what Nick keeps going with analytics. And
Yeah, but can
it
you
says
imagine?
the chart says blah blah blah.
Can you imagine if he didn't make went for the 2 points and didn't make it? Everybody
That's
would
fine.
That and if he's
know.
kicking field goals, if you're kicking field goals, it's what people
Yeah.
do.
You're Tampa Bay. You're going in there without 2 of your best receivers. You're
Right.
banged up. You shouldn't even have been in the game. You're in the game. You got a chance to win the game.
100%.
You're just going to leave it up to a 50% coin flip.
I mean,
Because-
I hear you, but like we've been ripping on the Eagles all year for doing just that, going for it all the time when they don't really. I don't know. I hear you, but I feel like there's 2 sides to it.
So there is, in my opinion,
I think there's a time
this
and
is,
place
again,
to go
just
for
my
it.
exactly.
That was the place
You
to
have
go
to
for
take the flow of the game in. You have to take all the
Sure.
considerations because you know what doesn't? Analytics. It's just numbers. It does not
Sure.
get the feeling of the game. It does not. Analytics doesn't know that you're without your 2 top receivers. Analytics looks at your team, looks at this team, and says, "Hey, 43% says you should do this."
Mhm.
And it's just dumb. And same thing with baseball. I don't understand. There's a flow of the baseball game. You know when your pitcher's ready to come out. Don't look at the analytics. I mean, have
Well,
that
somebody
play a
tag
part
Sounds
of
Billy
like
it.
Bean so
sore on that
maybe
one,
Billy
Greg.
Bean can explain it to us.
He's right, though.
I'm very sore on it. It's like, and that's what Nick is. And the thing that frustrates me about Nick, and I apologize, Randy, I'll let you finish in a second.
No,
But it's
your
like
turn.
it's all analytical, and he's full throttle all the time, and he doesn't like take feeling or game flow or how or what the situation is. It's just whatever that damn chart says. That chart says we should go for it. We're going for it, and it's
Mhm.
like,
Hey,
dude,
and I got to tell you, you can't have analytical without anal, and that's where your team is going to be taking it if you keep doing that. Just letting you know.
So, Greg, you're playing us. You think you win? You think you lose? What do you think? You
all
should be
right,
worried.
so I think we win. Again, the spread 7. Cooper Rush is Cooper Rush, and I'm hoping we get up for this game, and we don't have another repeat performance. We were up 22. We felt good. AJ's knee didn't feel great. He sat out the rest of the game. We kind of went into a prevent type situation. We fumbled the ball. They scored 8 points, and then it started the snowball effect. I want to go in there. I want to play well. We don't typically play great in Dallas. So, I mean, for us to be 7-point favorites in an interdivisional game, again, I realize CD's out. I realize Dak's out, but it's to me, It's going to be a good game. I think we win, but I don't think we win by more than 7.
So how do you feel like you match against our receivers? You're
Better.
I think we match up very well.
How are you going to take care of Mingo?
Oh, that's
He's not even going to play.
I think our cornerbacks. Oh, yeah, he won't probably play at all.
Not. I'm kidding.
I think our defense stacks up fine with you guys. I think that our defense is coming along well. I think our cornerbacks, our young cornerbacks, are coming along well. I don't even think Slay will play this week either. It's up to the young dogs. Carter is playing out of his mind right now. I think our linebackers, Braun, is playing well. I think our cornerbacks are doing well. So it should be a good matchup. On paper, we should win, and I think I see why the number 7. And we'll see. I don't know if we cover that, but we'll see. I think the Giants win and win handily against the Panthers. I think it gives Chris false hope, and we're talking more about the Giants next week.
No. Just don't bring up DJ.
I can't even not respond when you're saying something good about him.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't going to bring him up, and I won't bring him up because then we'll hear another story about how he played great in the second half.
You just brought him up.
It goes on and on. Nowhere, I think Pittsburgh goes into Washington and surprises them. I think the Washington Commanders
go with your heart.
I think this is the best. I think this is the best defense that they've played this year. And this will tell if they are for real or just on a run. I think Daniels is playing out of his mind, and I think at some point he's got to come down a little bit. And he hasn't done that yet this year. He's riding that roller coaster, and I'm waiting for the turnovers. He didn't have many turnovers, if any, in the Baltimore game.
No, but I mean, they lost, and that was probably the best defense they played at the time.
Yeah.
That was a game they didn't really look great, but.
Yeah, I agree.
But Baltimore's secondary isn't all that great.
Yeah.
They give up
all around.
Yes.
So I'll be curious to see about that. So I'll take Pittsburgh plus the points in that game. Turnovers, I think that if we can get to Cooper Rush and we can get to him quick and bring some blitzes, I think we can win that team total. I also think Chris has a chance to win this as well. I think their defense is going to come up big over in Germany, and I think they're going to play well this week. I really do. I think, I don't know if Chase Young's playing. Not Chase Young.
Bryce Young.
Bryce
Young. What did I say? Chase Young. I don't know if Bryce Young's playing or who's starting for them. But I think that's their strong point is definitely their defense. We heard a lot of talk about Neighbors and a lot of talk about their offense going into the year, and their defense is the one that's been playing pretty good. Rushing yards, I got to go with Barkley. I know Barkley has not had very good numbers statistically against Dallas. But again, new year, new me.
Different
Barkley's
line.
saying new line. So it's like, let's do this. I'll tell you the one stat that scares me.
Do we know if Mike is playing for sure? Do we know 100% if he is or not? That could change things a little bit.
I just read about an hour ago that he is expected to play.
Yeah. I was honestly surprised that they didn't try to trade him, to be honest with you. I think if they would have taken or found a team to take them, and I know the Eagles would have loved to have him, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets traded because I don't think they have the money to pay him. And I think that he wants out. So we'll see what happens there. But the stat that scares me, listen, I listen to his podcast next week. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of chatter. And that's the one thing about this new age football crew that I don't like. I don't like the Slay and him do a podcast together. I know, I mean, to me, it's rivalry. You hate Dallas. You have to hate Dallas if you're an Eagles fan or an Eagles player.
I told you, we're getting old, guys.
Anymore.
The league's different. I hate how they change jerseys. I hate how they love each other. Lawrence Taylor hated you. He wanted to kill you guys. Like he didn't want.
I agree.
He didn't want your jersey. Like,
Whoa!
I'm not in
That's the point, buddy.
But am I right though? Like Lawrence Taylor, dude, they ain't.
I agree.
Points. Lawrence Taylor.
I got a signed helmet right there that says that he broke somebody's leg.
Yeah, he was a bad man.
But
turned real quick. Let me finish out.
He cared.
So finishing out. Going back to the stat that scares me, Barkley had 31 touches last week. 31. He is on pace to go past Christian McCaffrey's touches last year from San Francisco and Christian McCaffrey's touches 4 years ago on the Panthers. So I am a little nervous. Now, granted, Barkley is getting hit second level more by like cornerbacks and not as much, no disrespect, Chris, as D linemen. So it's a little different, but I did notice during the game on Sunday, he's stretching it out. Some of those hits are getting to him. So I would prefer us not use Barkley 31 times, and that's 31 touches in the game, and that scares me.
I agree with you. I've been saying that.
His play was absolutely amazing when he did the hurdle and then the jump button while he's backwards. The play was absolutely amazing.
The spin before
the first thing he did was he winced a little bit and was like, "Oh."
That's when he used to get hurt for us. When he's always dancing around, like instead of trying to, like he could just hit the hole in your line, like
yeah.
And he always does seem to fall. He always does seem to fall off in the second half of the year, and you guys are using him a lot, so that could end up.
So I mean, and I don't know what that means. Later. I mean, do we use Jalen a little bit more? Do we use Kenny G? Do we bring Shipley in? I mean, honestly, I was hoping, huh?
Don't you have Gainwell? Can't you like take some of his snaps away?
I think we're going to have to. I was hoping for, and I know obviously it's past the trade deadline now, but I was really hoping for Kamara. I wanted to try to get that two-headed monster and change things up, just like we did LeGarrette Blount the year we won the Super Bowl, and just started pounding the ball. But obviously it didn't happen, and we're going to have to rely on what we have. So yes,
Stop trying to screw my fantasy team.
So I'm taking Barkley with the rushing yards and touchdowns for team total. I'm taking the Eagles for that one. All right, Chris, let's hear what nonsense you got.
I don't have any nonsense. You guys are just hating on me. I do get fired out about Jones. I like to support him. I apologize for the first half. The thing is with him, dude, he gives you 100,000% every week, and I love him.
No one's talking about him. We're not going to talk about him.
I just wanted to clear that up. So I'm going to blow through this. It doesn't matter what he does next week. We probably shouldn't even win. In the 6th, 7th range, that's not going to get us a quarterback. They need to either get rid of the quarterback or they need to get rid of the GM and coach. I don't agree with that. I think we're building something there. I do think we're drafting pretty well. We need to keep it going. Let them get their guys.
So how about next week? How about this
next week? I do think the Giants are going to win. I don't really know if I want them to win, but last week.
Oh, you're going to give me crap. You're going to give me crap.
Nope. You got to root for them, Chris. You need them. You want them to win.
Well, last year I gave
Paul crap last year.
I did, but look what it did for him. He was right. He turned the season around. Look at him now. He's going to win the division this year. He's going to win the division this year. Because even though you think you're good, you're really still not that good. Teams like the Lions ain't scared of you. I don't even think Washington's hate. I don't think Washington's scared of you.
Hate. I think my favorite moment with you is when we're at the bar and we're watching the Eagles Giants and you were you were ready for the game and I'm just like, hurts so good.
He almost said the F word.
Baby, make it hurt so good.
He almost said the F word there. Nah, but I do. Last week, Greg, you were right. The Giants are always defense. Last week, our defense sucked. Didn't get no sacks. Now he's slippery. Drew Phillips should have rocked him and just missed him a couple times, man. We should have got him. It couldn't bring him down. And our defense played terrible when we needed them most. Third and 18, second and longs. But DJ plays better on the road and never know. We might win that game. I think we could win and cover it. I disagree with you in Washington and Pittsburgh. Giants should have beat Pittsburgh, man. They hurt themselves. They shoot themselves in the foot. I think Washington at home is going to dominate Pittsburgh. I think Washington wins that game and covers big. And I agree with you. I think Philly, they are starting to find their stride. They should beat Dallas. Dallas is falling apart right in front of our eyes. They won the division last year. They're not going to repeat. I don't know if
Can I just say how you just said the Eagles weren't good about literally 47 seconds ago?
Dallas is another bad team.
You said we're finding our way?
they're another bad team. Your talent alone should help you beat these bad teams. When you play a good team like the Lions, they're going to smash it. You're not going to beat them. You're not going to beat Washington this year. I wouldn't be surprised if they swept you. So Giants are going to win. They're probably going to cover. Washington's going to win. They're going to cover. Philly's going to win. I don't know if they're going to cover, but they're going to win. They should win. They're the more talented team, but I don't know. I don't think they're that great. Plus or minus, I'm going to give it to Washington. They're going to win, and I think they're going to win the plus or minus with the turnovers, rushing yards. Barkley's been doing it every week. You should be running the ball. He is your team. If you lose him, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. But if you don't get hurt, Barkley should win that. And TD's team total, I think Washington's going to get that too.
Come on!
I do. I think they're going to beat Pittsburgh. I don't think they have anything to worry about. I believe in Washington. They're good, man.
If this episode title isn't "They're a talented team, but they're not that good," I'm gonna be disappointed.
There's something wrong there, man. I don't know if it's the coach. I don't know what it is.
They keep growing. They're getting better every week, but they're not a talented team. You are a walking contradiction.
No,
but they have really good players.
They got
that
Brown, they got
Smitty,
they got Barkley.
Title. You're a walking contradiction.
But why? Why do they do what they do, man? Why do they like?
Because you hate them, Chris. You hate them. It's okay, buddy.
You were up 22-0 and almost choked it away to the Jacksonville
But we
Jaguars.
won and you lost. You're 2-7.
If that would have been
Let
a good team, you would have got smoked. If that would have been the Lions, you would have got smoked.
But guess what? It wasn't. It was Jacksonville.
And Sirianni's going to find a way.
Here we are.
We're
6-2. You're 2-7. This is what we live for, buddy.
And they're going to crash and burn just like the Phillies.
Yep.
They're just like the Phillies.
Here we go.
Paul, you're up.
All right, Chris.
Come on, he's fine.
Yes, he did all his picks. He did.
Okay, he did. All right.
And he did the ones for next week too.
Close it
out.
He
did next week's. Yeah. So
I got Washington sweeping the week. I got him sweeping the week.
Great. Well, I guess I'm screwed then.
Oh no, Barkley. I got Barkley.
Okay. Jeez.
I almost had him sweeping the week.
I think I actually will make this quick because after all of Chris's stuff, I'm starting to get bubble guts here. It happens from time to time with his rants, but I do want to put out one last stat since we're on the Mingo train. It's noted that Panthers fetched a solid return for their former second-round pick, as he has one reception for 1 yard in the last 4 games on a team where he knows the whole playbook, just letting you know. During that game...
has no quarterback.
And that's why I think they're unfortunately going to lose in Germany. I do think the Giants are going to win that game, and it's just because of their defense.
They don't have Bingo.
It's not going to be a fun game to watch. I'm not waking up for it. I'm going to spend all my extra time. Oh, dude, I'm going to spend all my time on the Thursday game. The Thursday game is freaking fire. Bengals and Ravens. The way the Bengals are playing right now, I think it's going to be a great game. So I'm looking forward to that. I think the Eagles are going to win in Dallas. And this is one of 4 games I root. Used to be 2. I want to remind everybody. But one of 4 games that I root for the Eagles every year now. I want to see it right in front of Jerry's freaking face, too. And I want to see all the rants that he has next week. I want to see him go all full Joel Embiid and just continue to unravel on the sidelines.
Leave him alone.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He's just the key to the city. He should be completely left alone. So I think in our game, I think it's going to be, and I don't know, I think it's a toss-up, but I think our quarterback play is a little bit better, but, everybody's right. We have not seen a defense like that, and they got a little bit better. Ours got a little bit better today as well. So I'm hoping that our little bit of a better defense has their way more with Russell Wilson than their better defense does with Jaden Daniels. So we'll see. As long as it's clean football, I think that we're going to have a chance. This is one of those games that we saw last year where it was just a turnover session. We would take ourselves out of that. Doesn't matter if we're running the ball or not. We did pretty well running the ball last week without Brian Robinson. So, I would actually say that our 3 main running backs, and even a little bit of Chris Rodriguez in there, but the 3 main running backs are pretty interchangeable. Obviously, Eckler's in there, really good for the passing, and Robinson's really good on the early downs. But we've shown that all 3 of them rotating in and out with McNichols works pretty darn well. So I think that one's actually a toss-up.
sound like somebody talking about Singletary.
I tried everything
Right
I could.
now.
I tried everything to not say three-headed monster. That's why I went interchangeable, and they're all fungible together. But no, I think we do pull that out because of the home field advantage, which I think is actually a thing now in Washington. Players want to come there, people want to come see the game, so we're not being out crowded by the opponents. Although I don't think there's any team besides the Cowboys that travels across the country anywhere they are more than the Steelers. Stop.
Are you covering? What are you beating them by?
I mean, they're just I don't do that crap. I'm not worried about that. But I think we do pull it out. I think the Eagles pull it out. I think you pull it out. I think we all, all three of us or all four of us are going to pull it out. There could be some surprises. I mean, it could be a surprise game where you barely lose. If Mingo just blows it up like he's apparently supposed to.
He should.
So as far as turnovers, I think we
imagine him and Trey Lance together. Ooh.
Dude, wait till you see Mingo blow it up. You guys are all going to be eating a giant turd next week.
I mean, I think it should be Wildcat. Like, we don't even need Cooper Rush. Just Wildcat. Put Trey Lance and Mingo side by side.
Give it right to Mingo, man.
They will. That's part of it. So you just never know. You never know where this balanced attack is coming from.
Well, he's got one or two more picks to go here. I agree.
I'll take Washington with the turnovers. Rush yards, I do think it's going to be Saquon. I mean, if anybody takes anybody other than Saquon for single player, I mean, it doesn't really make sense.
You have to.
Yeah, I mean, but if that means that you win the game and he gets hurt, I'm okay with that too. You kind of set it up for that. You're setting him up for him to get hurt. The way you were saying that he's just been a workhorse, and that's what happens. We're around that time. Little week 10 to 12 is.
Chris said week 4 he gets hurt. Week 3.
No, I said around the second half of the
past
year
it.
he starts going downhill. You're right in that window, buddy.
I promise we can get off this pod as soon as I say this. What's the very last category? Turnovers, rush yards,
touchdowns, team total.
I actually think that one's probably going to go to the Eagles as well, just because of the defensive matchups. So those are my picks, and I really hope we can get off now.
I did go.
You don't want to talk about the Bears and the Cardinals any at all?
No.
That was a good game.
No, that's definitely the dumb shit.
Really
Let's get out of here.
Really knocked that
Jonathan Mingo
Caleb Williams was awful.
Jonathan Mingo will be playing both ways this week, offense and defense, to try to stop the Eagles.
Rookie of the year.
We'll be back next week to talk about Week 10. Start looking forward to Week 11. I can't believe how fast this season is going, but